You guys tell me when.
You want to wait for the passing of the film? We'll do it already.
The best one.
Sorry, I wasn't.
Okay, boys and girls, thank you for all getting into your seats on time. I love to see that. Remember we had some homework yesterday? Our homework yesterday was to do practice book page 40. I know your homeroom teacher reminded you to do that. I'm glad that happened because even though we wrote it down, some of you may not have remembered. But since she reminded you, I hope everyone did so. I would like all my number ones, to be in charge of collecting the practice book page number 40, but not right now. Okay, we'll collect that at the end of the class. There were also some words we were interested in doing and studying. That was the word traditions, customs, feasts, ceremonies. We did a little bit of work around it. You also remember that we did a fact and opinion T-chart about yourselves. Would you please take out your fact and opinion T-chart? This one was about Mexican Americans because I wanted to see, since most of you are Mexican Americans, what the facts are and what the opinions. So this is the sheet you should be pulling out. Let's take a look. Here I have the assignment. Remember, it was determining if the sentence or the statement said is a fact or an opinion. And what we also wanted was we wanted to see if you could come up with your own fact and your own opinion about Mexican Americans. Because we're studying about 3 middle school students, their cultures, their groups, and what they feel about who they are and who their people are. So we did the first one together. Because the sentence says I think and best tasting, we consider that to be an opinion. Let's see what your thoughts are about your homework. So, Mexican Americans are happier than other people. Let's see. What I'm going to ask you to do is, I'll have some volunteers just raise their hand and tell me whether it's an opinion or a fact after you read the sentence. So, who can volunteer to do the next one here? Yes, por favor. Please, Octavio.
Mexican Americans are happier than other people.
What do you think that is, a fact or an opinion?
Opinion.
An opinion. Put your thumb up if you believe that is true and thumbs down if you don't. Most people felt the same way. Now, Octavio, what was it that made you think it was an opinion? What part of the sentence?
Happier?
Okay. Did other people underline happier?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, check your homework. Now, who would like to read my next sentence? And please tell me whether or not it's a fact or an opinion. Yes.
Most Mexican American students have family or ancestors from Mexico.
Do you think that's a fact or an opinion?
Fact.
All right, you say it's a fact. Put your thumbs up if you agree. Most people seem to agree. What part of the sentence told you that it was a fact? What did you underline?
Most and half.
Most and half. Did other people underline any other piece of the sentence?
No.
Pretty much the same parts? Okay. Next sentence. Yes.
Some Mexican Americans speak Spanish.
So is that a fact or an opinion?
Fact.
A fact? Is that true? Thumbs up if you agree. That's right, I'm trying to trick you. Yes, it is a fact, and there's a reason why I also agree that it's a fact. What were the pieces of the sentence that you underlined that made you think it was a fact?
Some.
Some? Okay. Does anybody else have anything different they underlined? Yes. Speak. So if I can prove it, remember, I can prove it. If I see some Mexican Americans speaking Spanish, it must be something that must be true. Some of them do because I saw some of them speak. So that seems reasonable also. Okay? My next two, volunteer. Let's see, I picked on you already? Yes. Maria.
Mexican Americans use the word adios to say goodbye.
Now what did you consider that, a fact or an opinion?
Opinion.
Opinion. Raise your hand if you agree with that, or put your thumbs up. Okay? Thumbs down if you disagree. Some disagreement here. Some people think yes it is. Some people say no it's not. That's a tricky one, because it says Mexican Americans. Does that mean all Mexican Americans, some Mexican Americans? It depends on how you think about the sentence, right? So for me, this might be an opinion, or it might be a fact. Well, you know, I saw some Mexican Americans saying adios. Some Mexican Americans speak Spanish. Some say adios. So it's probably a fact. But if I didn't know, it'd be considered an opinion. So that's a tough call, but I'm going to call it an opinion as well. Since they do it, I've seen them do it, I'm going to say yes. Does it say all? No, it doesn't. But since it doesn't say all or some, I'm going to assume that it says some. The next one. Yes, go ahead.
Soccer is the favorite sport of Mexican Americans.
Now, what did you think, Felipe? Is that an opinion or is that a fact?
Fact.
He thinks it's a fact. How many of you agree that it's a fact? Okay. How many thought it was an opinion? Disagreement again. Fact or opinion? What part, Felipe, made you think that it was a fact?
Favorite?
Favorite. Okay. Is favorite something you can prove or disprove? Think about it for a minute. Prove or disprove? Let's see. If I asked every single Mexican American, they said yes, could I prove it?
Yes.
If I asked them and they all said yes, soccer's my favorite one. But I'm going to ask a Mexican American right now and find out if it's your favorite. Who's Mexican American here? Is soccer your favorite sport?
Yes.
All right, let me ask another Mexican American. Is soccer your favorite sport?
No.
Uh-oh. Some of them don't think so. So, can this really be a fact?
No.
Sometimes when we talk about emotions, how we feel about something, generally we're going to call it an opinion because it's what you feel and not everybody feels the same. So this time I'm going to call it an opinion, and that's why. Okay, we're going to get better as we determine what's a fact and opinion. We see sometimes that the clues in the sentence will help us determine if it's a fact or an opinion. Now I'm interested in seeing some of your own sentences. What did you guys come up with? Mexican American facts, Mexican American opinions. We studied the signal words yesterday. You could have copied some of the style of the sentences that we were coming up with, or you could have done your own because of things you hear when people speak English. Who's got one to share? Okay, yes.
There are parents from Mexico.
What is it again?
There are parents from Mexico.
Okay, there are parents from Mexico.
There are many.
There are many parents from Mexico?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
There are many parents from Mexico. What part of the sentence would tell me that his sentence is probably a fact?
Many.
Okay? Many. So if it's not all of them, but some of them, a few of them, those quantities, we call those quantities, help me figure it out. Is there another part of the sentence that kind of tells me it's a fact? Yes. Are. Or maybe there are. There are boys and girls in the class. Is that true?
Yes.
That's a fact. So there are is a good signal that could help me. If it has to be true, if it can be proven, those are the signal words. Who's got another one, just to hear one? Yes.
Mexicans are hard workers.
Mexicans are hard workers. Is that a fact or an opinion? Does anybody have any family members who aren't so hardworking? Maybe some people. I've got some family members who aren't so hardworking.
Oh yeah.
But I've got a lot of them that are hardworking. So maybe it's an opinion. I tell you why I think it's an opinion. Because someone says that a group is like this, unless you can prove it, I have to call it an opinion. So, who's got another opinion, an opinion about Mexican Americans? We'll move on to the next one. Yes?
Mexican Americans love Mexican food.
Mexican Americans love Mexican food. Mexican Americans love Mexican American food. What part of the sentence tells me that in fact it's probably an opinion?
Love.
Love. What kind of word is love? I said earlier, sometimes when you have this kind of word, you're kind of going to be confident that it's probably an opinion. What kind of word is this? This is an emotional word, right? An emotion. Words like love, hate, fancier words like detest, or a real fancy word like abhor. Okay? Those words have to do with emotions. And if you feel strongly about something, It probably is your idea, but not everybody agrees, right?
Yes.
Some people love the president, some people don't like the president. There's strong feelings, strong opinions. Anybody have another one they want to share? Opinions? Yes.
I like Mexican American food.
All right, I like. There's an emotion. Would you please share at your table one opinion about Mexican American with people all around you so we can move on?
Everybody's Mexican. Okay, you go first.
For my fact, I wrote enchiladas is one of my Mexican American favorite food.
My facts about Mexican Americans are that they have different cultures and they celebrate different things. Like, yeah.
All the Mexican Americans like all the same kinds of food.
This is my opinion. The Mexican Americans' food is very delicious.
This is my opinion. I love Mexican Americans.
And write about your fact.
My fact? They're kind of poor and mostly don't wear shoes.
That they like celebrating holidays and
All right, boys and girls.
Christmas holidays.
I'd like my number
Cinco de
ones.
Mayo. Yeah.
My number
Cinco de
ones on the
Mayo.
table to collect this piece of paper and please stack it right here in the corner, then return to your seat. Please collect them. Thank you, those of you who remember to put your names on the paper and the dates. Looks like everyone did when I walked around. Now, boys and girls, let's study what we're going to be doing today and what our homework is. So please, on your calendars, record this part of our learning and homework log. We have to finish Student Practice Book, page 45. Student Practice Book, page 45 is our first homework assignment, right? You all have the practice book. What we're doing today will help you. These are the new words that we're going to be covering today in our readings. It was important that we study these words in class and outside of class because they are words that show up while we're reading. What are these words that you're going to record? Record these words: privileges, culture, respect, rights, adjust. All right. Those are great words. As I'm thinking about the words, does anyone know some of the words that seem almost the same in Spanish? Who's got a word that's almost the same in Spanish? What is it in Spanish? Do you know it? Can't pronounce it, but some people might. Oh, he's giving it to me now. All right.
like that.
You know, it's very important, boys and girls, to use the language that you speak to help you figure out what the other language is. If you have another language, you can use that to help you out. Any other word up there that sounds similar in Spanish?
Respect.
What?
Respecta.
Okay, that one sounds very much the same. We call those words cognates, right? They're about the same in the both languages. You've got one in the back?
Culture, cultura.
All right, that's 3 already. It helped me to know the words in one language when I'm using another one. There's probably one more, only one more. What do you think?
Adjust.
What is that word?
Ajusta.
Okay, what do you know? So it turns out that 4 of the words, it helped me to be pretty good at another language. So these are the words we're going to study tonight. If you already know what these words mean in your language, then it helps because you'll be able to know what they mean in English. Most of the time, they're about the same. What are we actually going to do in class today? We're going to be reading more facts and opinions, and we're going to be studying the words that the kids use to mark facts or opinions. Our interest is being able to speak and write just the way these middle school students did it. These 2 students we're reading about today was Jenny and Christian. Yesterday we read about Janelle. What we want is be able to express ourselves, give sentences that are facts and opinions in English. These were the new words then that come up today. And once again, I'm going to ask your group to think about it. And I'm going to assign table groups one of the words. There they are: privileges, culture, respect, rights, adjust. Some of you already read these words. Some of you know the words in your own language. Some of you can figure out what the word is because you can break the word up into parts. All those strategies are good strategies for figuring these out. So, table A, will do privileges. Table B will do culture. C will do respect. D will do rights. E will do adjust. And I've got one more table, so F will also do privileges. Would you please talk at your tables and tell me what you think the word means, these important words that show up in our readings today.
Like civil rights, like
1 minute to finish up.
like freedom, kind of like or something
Like we fight
human rights. Yeah, human rights, freedom rights, civil rights, and all those rights.
What else?
What do you think? You have the right to like personal environment.
Nobody can say that they can't kick you out, or because you're a different color.
Okay, time is up. Boys and girls, some of you went and looked at the glossary, and that's okay, but this time I wanted you to use your mind. What was it inside your mind that reminds you what the words are? So it's okay to use a glossary, but sometimes it's important for you to use your experiences and what you know already. But it's a good strategy for a reader, right? So that's okay. Let's see. Can we have a person elected at the group to be the speaker quickly? Who's going to say what your table thought about that word? I'm going to start in the middle this time. Group C, got a spokesperson? Okay, what do you think respect means?
Somebody that you must respect and use other.
Somebody that you have to what?
You respect from them.
Somebody that you respect from? Okay, well, that's okay, except I'm using the same word within the definition. Somebody that you respect. What does it mean if you respect somebody then? What does it mean if you respect someone?
To not just touch their stuff.
Okay, so it means that you take care of their things. Excellent. Anything else in this group? That's a good example. All right, let's move on to another group. So, somebody you respect, somebody, I'm going to change it now slightly because that was a great idea that your group came up with. Somebody whose stuff you don't touch. Right, group B, culture. Who's my spokesperson? Yes.
We took notes from a class, and it's the same word, but it says a unique way of life that sets group of people apart from one another.
Holy smokes. Can you repeat that again?
A unique way of life that sets group of people apart from one another.
Okay, a unique way of life that sets people apart from one another. That's a terrific formal definition, but remember, your ideas are also important to me, your opinions and your facts. So, I'm not going to argue with that one. That sounds terrific. Sounds like a dictionary definition or a glossary definition. It might have been what you tasked. Group D, who's your spokesperson? Quickly. Ernie?
I think it means that, like, freedom of rights.
Freedom of rights. So what does it mean to have freedom then?
That like, you cannot judge someone.
You can't judge someone for doing something? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
You can't judge someone for doing something. Well, guess what? Suppose I tell you it's my freedom to go bash you on the head. Is that my right?
Nope.
Uh-oh, so there must be something a little bit deeper about that word you're going to have to think about. Something deeper about that word. Okay? What makes the difference between the freedom and the not the freedom? Why can't I just bash him in the head?
You're not supposed to judge them because of their skin.
Okay, that's true about the theme of our story. You shouldn't judge people and treat them badly. But we also have protection. What protects him or anybody from getting hurt by another person?
Police.
An adult.
Okay, an adult or the police, or we'll call it the law. The law, right? If there's a law, there are people who are called the police who make sure the laws are followed. And they're judges who will make a determination if you've broken the law. So the rights also have something to do with that. We have to make sure that what we're doing is legal or okay with the law. Okay, just one of the groups from privileges. I'll choose F this time. F, who's your spokesperson? Yes, Edmund.
Chances?
Chances. Okay, let's see. What did A group come up with? Do you think it's chances? A group spokesperson?
What you are able to do.
What you're able to do? Give me an example F group, why you thought it was chances. Tell me more. Did you use it in a sentence? Did you come up with an example?
Yes.
What was it?
Human privileges are important for people.
Human privileges are important for people, so getting chances are important for people. That sounds like it's a reasonable deduction. You use the sentence to figure out what the word is. So, it sounds like it could be chances. You had your hand up.
Privileges is when I think I'll go for chances because privileges is what some parents give you, and if you don't do it, they could give you another chance to do the right thing.
Now that's interesting. So if your parents give you another chance to do something, you're given something in return. And that thing you get in return is probably a privilege. Now I start thinking how you're thinking, why you came up with the word chances. But if someone gives you special permission to do something, that's what we call a privilege. So I think it's more about being able to do something after you do what you said you're going to do. For you as teens, when you do what your parents ask, you get a privilege. So let's look at a formal definition in a minute. Last group, Group E, who is your spokesperson? What was the word adjust? Group E?
To get the hang of.
What's that?
To get the hang of.
To get the hang of. All right, that's some good everyday English. To get the hang of. When you say hang of, if I get the hang of skateboarding, what does that mean? What would you see your teacher doing? I'm getting the hang of skateboarding. What does that mean? That's everyday English.
That she can do it over and over?
All right, so if your teacher can do it over and over, they are learning something new, getting used to it, getting the hang of it, right? All right. Now let's take a look at some formal definitions, and I want you to compare what you thought it was with this formal definition that comes from the book. Compare your ideas. Privileges, something special you get to do. All right? Culture, arts, beliefs, customs, and traditions. So, think about an example of something that's Mexican-American culture, since so many of you are Mexican-American. Respect, to feel or to show a high opinion of something. All right, if I respect someone, that must mean I treat them a certain way, like I don't touch their stuff. The rights. Rights are something that is allowed for you to do by the law. You have the right to go to school, right? You're given that by the law. People pay money, taxes, so you can come to school. And adjust means to get used to. It sounds very much like get the hang of. Those are the words. It's now time for you to come up with a sentence or example, comparing what you thought with the formal definition. Give me a sentence or example. So I'm going to change the order. This time I'll start with C, gets privileges, D gets culture, E gets respect, F gets rights, A gets adjust, and that means B also gets privileges. Would you please, at your table groups, come up with a sentence or an example and have it written on the one piece of paper. One sentence, one example, using these words. A sentence or example. Those are the assignments.
For what, culture?
Okay, you'll have 3 minutes.
They said chances, ¿verdad? They said chances.
Yes.
And it was for privileges, so I already came up with a sentence.
Yeah, but what is the sentence?
That parents give you privileges, but if you don't follow them, they give you another chance to do the right thing.
Let's make a sentence. We make many privileges every year. Parents give you privileges.
Give you
For
doing
something special you get to do. Yeah, but
Yeah.
what's the sentence? Parents give you privileges for doing things like going to your friend's house and stuff like that.
No, it's not right.
Why not?
He
So
used to.
sometimes you have to adjust to a new home. Example, wedding. Adjust to learn our privileges. Comfortable, be comfortable.
Get used to it. Yeah, but that's what it says over there. Oh, so comfortable, getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Yep, right. Comfortable, getting. gain the hang of it. What they said. Gain the hang of
Okay, you have about a minute left. All right, so you guys have privileges of going to the movies with your families? What other privileges do teens at your age get to do? You get to play with your friends? But at midnight? Oh, so there's a limitation, right? Your privileges are there, but only with certain kinds of rules.
Half an hour.
Oh, half an hour, so it's even a time. You can only spend a certain duration of time. Okay, great. You have about half a minute yet. Who's going to be your spokesperson? Or I might call people at random. We'll see. I might call people at random, make sure everybody can read the sentence and understand it. Boys and girls, you got 30 seconds. I'm going to call people at random, so make sure everyone understands the example and the sentence.
In a certain age. And the next one, the law. It says the law that says do study. It says
All right, time's up. Eyes over here. Hopefully you're ready. I'm going to call a person from each group. So let's see what C was assigned was the word privileges. So can you please give me a sentence or example of privileges? Marco from C4, C group. Where's my C group? All right, Marco.
we get privileges to go to the movies with our friends.
Okay, can you speak up because the rest of the class can't hear you?
We get privileges to go to the movies with our friends.
Does that sound like it's a good use of the word? Yes. All right, let's go for my A group. A group was assigned adjust. It looks like A1 Crystal. Crystal?
Sometimes you have to get adjust to your new home.
Sometimes you get just a new home. Okay, does that sound like it's the right word the right use of the word adjust? Yes or no? That's right. Whenever we move, we have to adjust. The group agrees. Thank you. D2, Jorge, your word was culture. What do you got?
Everyone comes from a different kind of culture, like us Mexican Americans.
Great, you put an example on that. Would you agree that's a good use of the word culture in the sentence?
Yes.
Okay, put an example at the end. Did I call my B group already? All right, let's see, you also have the word privileges. What do you got there? B group 4, Eric.
Our parents gave us privilege to go to Six Flags with our friends.
What was your privilege to go where?
To Six Flags.
Six Flags. How do you earn that privilege to go to the amusement park Six Flags?
You earn your money.
With your money?
Yeah. And by working hard.
Doing your chores. Okay, so you've got to do something to earn that privilege. What groups did I forget as I do my random order? My group E, you have the word respect. And so I will call an E person. My E person is Francine. Francine, you will be the spokesperson.
We will respect our differences. Here are some examples of respect. Like thank you, you're welcome, please, and having good manners.
I love your sentence. It's long, but the class needs to hear your words in English. It's important words, so speak up.
We will respect our differences. Here are some examples of respect. Like thank you, you're welcome, please, and having good manners.
All right, those are examples of what people say when they show respect. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see, did I miss any group? I'm all done?
F.
My F group. I need one F person. F1.
The law lets us drive in a certain age.
All right, the law lets you drive at a certain age. Okay, so where's the word rights in your sentence? It's a good idea. So, is it just an example? All right, so it's an example of your right. At what age do boys and girls get to drive?
18.
paragraph, I tell you why you hear two things. You can get a 16-year-old provisional license, which means there are certain ways you get to drive at 16. But to have a full license without having other adults, you have to be 18. All right. That's a right you get. Now, boys and girls, it's time to get on to our reading. And if you remember yesterday, we read a story called Janelle. There's the paragraph we were reading yesterday telling us what Janelle was writing about. Today we're going to read another reading by a student named Jenny, and she's a middle school student also. She's in a different group. The story that we're reading, written by her, is part of this theme of stories called Beyond the Color Line. So we expect to see students of different cultures. Now, I'd like you to read by yourselves this paragraph at your table groups. Then, after you read the paragraph, I want you to find one example of a fact sentence, one example of an opinion sentence at your table groups, and tell me what signal words help you figure out that it's a fact or an opinion. Okay? So once more, you are to read this paragraph, the second paragraph. After you finish reading it silently with your table group, select one sentence that's a fact, one that's an opinion, and then tell me what was it in that sentence, the signal words that made you think it was a fact or opinion. You'll have 3 minutes. Go.
She lived in America.
How you doing, boys and girls?
Good.
One fact, one opinion. You don't have to write it down. You just have to find it. You don't have to write it down because it's up there.
I think it's
that she enjoys sports.
She thinks
All right, there's about a minute left.
that people should respect one another. She thinks that people should respect one another.
In fact, she is in middle school.
Or maybe she enjoys sports.
She is in middle school.
What do you think he's going to choose?
So right there.
Don't write them down.
It's an opinion, right?
Just look up there. Just look up there.
But it's an opinion, right? That she believes that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
an
because she
All right,
believes.
time is up.
Another.
Let's take a look. I'm going to call randomly again. C3 Kelly. Did you find a fact
Yeah.
with your group? What did you guys find?
Jenny is a Chinese girl who has lived in America for 4 years.
So, if it says that about her, it probably can be proven. So I'm going to think that that's a fact. Now we know a little bit about the character. Who is the character we're reading about?
Jenny!
All right. And what kind of culture is she?
Chinese!
All right. Has she always been living in the United States? No. All right. So let's take a look. What was the part of the sentence, this group, that told you that it was a fact?
Jenny is a Chinese.
Is, okay, she tells me if I can see it, if I can prove it, it must be true. Anything else? Lived, okay. If she's been there all that time and has papers that can prove she's been there for those years, it must be true, also provable. All right, so now we know about her. She's an immigrant student who came to the United States, about 4 years ago. Who's got an opinion that they found on the sentence? Let's take a look. C2, Maria. C group again.
She believes people should respect one another.
All right, thumbs up if you agree that's a opinion. Now, let me get your opinion. What was the part, by the way, Maria, that made you think it was an opinion?
Believes.
Believes. How do you guys feel? Is that true? Put your thumb up if you agree that everybody should respect one another. Okay? Is that how you want to be treated? Yes. Let's find out about Jenny and what it was that she felt that made her have this opinion. So we're going to open up our student books now. We're going to read Jenny's story. Jenny's story is called Different on the Outside. It's on page 94. So please open your books to 94. We're going to read our story twice, remember? The first time, you're going to read it to your group. Every person sharing one paragraph at a time with a whip around, just like we did yesterday. So listen to the directions. Instead of reading silently, hold up. The first time we're going to read it, everyone reads one paragraph at a time. When you're done reading the paragraph, you're going to fill out the second row, just like we did yesterday. You remember what we have to do? We have to mark the author's name. We have to copy an opinion. We have to underline or figure out, then copy the signal words that came from that opinion. Then you have to tell me if you agree or you disagree. So those are the directions. You're going to do a whip around. What does whip around mean?
Everybody reads one paragraph at a time.
That's right. So you get to finish the story. When you're done with the story, what will you do? Now read again.
Find a fact, an opinion, and write the signal words.
Okay, and one more piece.
And agree.
Right, if you agree.
All right, and you will write it on which row? The second, right? Right here. Is that clear?
Yes.
Get started. Start reading. Whip around.
Okay. I was born in Guangdong area of China in the south tip, pretty close to Hong Kong. I don't have any brothers or sisters. You're only supposed to have one child in China. I've been in America about 4 years and I'm now in middle school. I like to play softball and volleyball and other sports. I play the piano too, and I'm going to take clarinet, bachelor's. My favorite composer is I like to collect stamps and have to collect Chinese stamps because we get mail from Chinese sometimes. When I get home from school, I have to do homework. Afterwards, I like to curl up in my bed.
When I get home from school, I have to do homework. Afterwards, I like to curl up in my bedroom and read. I love my mysteries. Sometimes I like goose stories and mysteries.
I can't read in Chinese. I know 100.
You need to know about 2000 to be able to read the Chinese newspaper.
It's different being Chinese. I feel special. It gives me privileges. I can go to different special things that are Chinese, like the Chinese New Year, or special holidays.
I think of myself as more American than Chinese.
I was teased about it. I tried to just either ignore it or I said to me, I bet if you went to China, people would tease you about your name because your name would seem different. Maybe then they find out how bad teasing is, but then I thought Jenny sort of sounds like Yingy. If I was Jenny, nobody would tease me. So now, when people ask, I say, my name is Jenny. Some people just...
If I was Jenny, When people ask, I say my name is Jenny. Some people just don't accept you for who you are. Since you don't look like them, they think you don't belong with them. Like you're different inside too. I look Chinese and I might have an accent. Some people make fun of others because they have an accent. I think it's unfair. What would they think if they were trying to speak and they had a little accent? Would you want everybody to laugh at them with like they laugh?
Different. The way they think is different and their culture is different. But just because they look different on the outside, they still are human beings. You just have to respect other people's rights. If you see someone who is really different, you should try to be friends. It might be really interesting. It might open you to another world.
I already got my opinion. You can get your own. It might open your. You have to have some. No. Well, he's gonna call one of us.
Yeah, then we can say our own. See?
We can say our own.
See, now start looking for your opinions. There you go.
Does she believe? Why you?
I think of myself as more American than Chinese. I picked mine right there. It says I think.
You
think? You can put other ones too.
Yeah, she said
like
that
the one that I found.
Wow.
The one that I found, I put I love. The one that she says is that I love mystery stories, and I'm saying people might not like mystery stories. So that's an opinion. Right? Some people do, some people don't.
It's different being Chinese. I feel special. It gives me privileges.
That's not bad.
But we know fact.
No, we only need an opinion.
Opinion?
Yeah. Oh, I got my opinion already. Yeah. We have to
share.
You have to write it down in there.
Right there?
Yeah, right there.
Are you guys all done?
Almost.
Great.
We're just writing the opinions.
Yeah, you can help each other out. Remember, every time we read and we're done reading, go ahead and share your opinions
Okay.
about what it was. All right, you said I love mystery stories. What do you think about mystery stories?
Yeah, okay, but some people might not like them.
But you like them? Because they asked your opinion.
The mysteries.
I actually don't like
That's
them.
cool.
Why not?
I like science fiction. That's my favorite thing.
Science fiction.
That's why it's an opinion. Everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah, some people like mystery, some people like.
Science is very far away from what we read right now.
So that's better.
Right. That's a good thing. I'm glad you guys have a favorite kind of books that you read.
My favorite is that one.
You don't like books? That's an opinion too.
Have you heard of that book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Charlie and the what factory?
Chocolate Factory.
No.
That's an old. It's an old book. Not that old. It's not that old, but it's kind of old.
What do you like about your book? Why is that one of your favorite
We
books?
saw a movie in 5th grade. Yeah, we saw the movie in 5th grade. It's about chocolate.
Oh, so the movie actually inspired your favorite book.
On the end, it shows.
Oh, yes. You know, I have to tell you, I saw this movie when I was probably 5 years old.
They're making a new one.
They are? Oh, it's an old book. It's an old book. All right, boys and girls, your attention. Some of you are already finished, so we're just going to move on from here to do our second reading independently. But first, let's quickly go through this. So, who was the character in this case? It was Jenny. That's right. And what are some of the opinions that you found? Just one person quickly. Yes.
I like to play softball
I like to play softball.
and volleyball.
I'll stop there because I don't have too much space and I want to move on. What part of it actually helped you figure out that it was?
I like.
Very easy. Now, what did you think? Do you like to play softball? Everything else she mentions?
No.
So what did you write on here?
We don't.
We don't like? We don't like?
Yes.
and then whatever it was, softball. Now, we need to start our individual reading. So there are some questions I'm going to give you to think about while you're reading this story called Jenny for your second read. Here are the questions, and then we're going to assign them to the group. Now we're going to read about this middle school student named Jenny, and I'm interested in what her writing tells me. Now I'm reading for ideas and concepts, right? So let's think about some of the things that Jenny might be telling us in her reading. Why does Jenny think people have trouble accepting others? That's the question. So as you read through, think about it. What is it in her words that make you know that she thinks people have trouble with this idea of accepting others? Number 2, what did she title her writing? These 2 pages has a title. Look at the title on page 94. Different on the outside. Why is that a good title for this? Now, you don't have to press down. Just hold on to it. It's okay. The third one. What's her opinion about being teased because of her name? Uh-oh. Teased because of her name. Number 4. Why do you think the teasing caused her to change her name? So she doesn't use the same name she was given in Chinese. You probably saw that already. She uses another name. What do you think about her opinion to change her name? Some people do change their names in middle school or when they're younger. What are your ideas? Now, Jenny said in the story that being Chinese gives her privileges. All right, so she thinks Chinese people have certain special things they can do. What kind of privileges does it say that she has? What do you think about those privileges? Do they seem special? What kinds of privileges do Mexican Americans have? If that is Jenny's Chinese cultural privileges, what about your own? And finally, what's your opinion about speaking Spanish? So, this is the question that will be assigned for Group A, number 1, Group B, C, D, E, F. And if there's time left over, you'll ask these 2 last questions. And I'm going to add one more question that occurred to me that I think is important. We read about 2 middle school students. One is named Jenny. I should say, how are Jenny and Janelle, good for you remembering yesterday's story, similar or different? Now that you read 2 students, that will be another extra question if you're done. So, you will have 4 minutes to read quietly by yourself because you've already read the story the first time, so it should be a lot easier when you don't have to read aloud. But this time you're reading for ideas. When you're done reading, you see the question you're assigned. If you have time left over, you can ask any of these extra questions to your group. Questions about the task?
No.
Pretty clear?
Yes.
Okay, you have a question? Yes, talk about the answer with your group. If you want to do something extra, because some of you are already writing really, really excellent sentences, feel free to write out the answer. It's okay also, not just to talk about it, but to write it out. Okay? Begin reading. Go. Silently. Silently. All right. Boys and girls, looks like many of you already done reading even before the 4 minutes, so I hope you read enough to answer your questions. It's now time to talk. Please talk at your tables for the question you've been assigned. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to talk about the question. If you have time left over because you answered the question, ask these other questions that are below marked with an X. Okay?
She titled her book, this is what she wrote. She titled her book different on the outside because some people make fun of others and she thinks it's not right. You first have to get to know someone before making fun of them for who they are.
That's true, yeah. First, you have to get to know somebody before they judge them by how like what is their character, how they
Like
are.
some people just make fun of them. They haven't even met them. Or
Yeah, some people will make fun of them from what are their heritage, like if they're Chinese, Mexican, or if they're Asian.
from where they come from.
Yeah, from where they come from. And they first have to get to know somebody before you judge them.
Not because where they come from or who they are.
Not because of their heritage, not because
Or their color of the skin.
Yeah, it's true.
So what do
Let's skip this. She already wrote it. That's fine what she said right there.
Should we go with that one?
Yeah, we'll go with that one. That one's better because it's true that people
Yeah,
judge.
it's true.
It's
You
true
shouldn't
that
judge someone.
they judge them by their heritage or where they come from.
How they look.
How they look too.
Skin color.
So yeah, we'll go with that since it's right there. It's fine.
They have different cultures.
Well, we had different cultures.
Speaking Spanish. It's good because no, when someone talks to you, you might understand them or not understand them. So it's good. It's good to speak. It's good to speak Spanish. Yeah.
Or you get more jobs. More jobs speaking both languages. And then seven. What kind of privileges that Mexican Americans have?
Okay. 7.
They don't have to work.
What kind of Americans have?
They don't have to work.
Mexican Americans. They work hard.
I love it that you're writing it down. It's excellent. So, are you guys helping shape the question and shaping the answer? Right?
What are some privileges that they have?
They don't have to work. You get to go to different holidays. They have
Holidays?
like Chinese New Year. Or
She feels bad about because you get.
Is everybody helping to shape the answer? Because remember, I can call on anyone.
So what are you gonna write? What are we gonna write? Our
I
opinion?
love that you use that word.
Yeah, our opinion is... She's the only Chinese. She's the only Chinese from the school. There are some Chinese girls in the school.
All right, boys and girls, our time is up according to my timer.
She doesn't like getting
Let's see. I'm going to call different groups. You about ready? I'll start first with my B group. I'm interested in knowing why she gave this writing this title. Different on the outside. What does that mean, different on the outside? B group, B5. Luis. Are you the speaker? Well, you got called by my cards. Yes.
This is what me and my group decided to write.
Okay.
She titled her book different on the outside because some people make fun of the others and she thinks it's not right. You first have to know someone before making fun of them for who they are.
All right, so you can't tease someone right away when you know them. That's not
You can't
right.
judge them by where they come from or who they are.
Okay,
You
that
first
sounds
have to
very much
know
like
them.
the theme of our story, right beyond the color line. So, in fact, what do we know about the inside then? If that's the outside, people are different, what is she saying really? What are the ideas you have about the inside of people?
Yes, you have to know how they feel, how they think about things.
Okay.
And that we all have feelings.
All right, we all have feelings, so on the inside we're the same, and we should be fair or thinking about people's feelings, right?
Yeah.
All right, I really like your long answer. How about my C group, moving down? What's her opinion about being teased because of her name? C2, Maria. What's her opinion about being teased? What do you think about that?
She feels bad and embarrassed of her name.
She feels bad and embarrassed, okay? Because what happened that made her feel that way?
They were teasing her.
They were teasing her. How many of you have ever been teased because people can't pronounce your name if it's pronounced in Spanish? Anybody have that feeling? Some people feel the same way. Did anybody change their name in this class to English? To an English version of their name? Nobody's done that? Does anybody have friends that changed their name because they were being teased here in middle school? In elementary school, you had a friend that changed his name because why? They were teasing him. It doesn't feel good, does it? So, let me go back up to my A group. Why do you think Jenny has this opinion that people have trouble accepting other people? A2, Maria. Maria O this time. So, where's my A group? Maria O.
Jenny thinks people have trouble accepting others because people make fun of their personalities.
They're making fun of people's personalities. She thinks people are making fun of one another. What kinds of personalities would make someone make fun of someone else?
Her name.
Her name, okay, that has to do with who she is. I understand that. That's her culture, determines her name. Her language is Chinese, so obviously she got a Chinese name, right?
What they like.
Okay, what they like. So maybe people would also be teased by what they like. So if people are different, they might have trouble accepting others, right? That's Jenny's opinion. How many of you agree that that happens sometimes? Because people have different likes. I like science fiction. Maybe you hate science fiction. I like mystery. Maybe you hate mystery. Group D. Let's see. I'll call on D1. James. Why do you think the teasing caused her to change her name?
She changed her name because she did not want people to keep on teasing her.
All right. Does that seem right to you guys?
Yes. No.
It seems right. It's her. Okay, it's her right. Maybe that's what I should have asked. That's her right to change her name. But does it seem okay?
No.
Does it seem okay? Doesn't seem fair to you guys? No. Okay. Well, let's go on to Group E and ask the question that they were given. E1 Octavio. What is your opinion about her decision to change her name? Tell me what you think.
Our opinion is that it is good that she changed her name because she doesn't like people teasing her about her name.
All right, so you think it is good. It's good that you changed her name. I really love that you guys wrote a sentence that is everybody's opinion. And you started out our opinion, as opposed to just one person, when the group all makes a decision, right? Okay, now, last group, Group F. Let's see. Jenny says that being Chinese gives her privileges. What kind of privileges does she have? What do you think about those privileges? Where's my Group F? Over there. I'm going to call F4 Alma.
Our group decided that they have like Chinese New Year to celebrate the tiger and
Okay, Chinese New Year. Say it loud so we can hear it. What is special about being Chinese?
that they celebrate Chinese New Year.
Okay. Yeah. Did you guys talk about this extra question? What kinds of extra privileges, or special events I should say, that Mexican Americans have? Did your group talk about special events? What kind of special events did you come up with? Let me try Alma one more time.
My first communion,
Your first communion.
quinceañera,
Okay.
confirmación,
Wow. Those are important events that are said in Spanish
And
that are Mexican American.
there's 3 more.
3 more? Go ahead with your list.
I don't know.
You've forgotten them. Okay. But that's excellent. Your words are very important to me. Your English is excellent. We want the rest of the class to hear it, right? Okay. Somebody else had their hand here for special events for Mexican Americans. Yes.
For number 7, special privileges.
You want to answer the next question? Yes. Well, yes. Mexican American special privilege was number 7.
That we can talk in Spanish, talk 2 different languages.
Oh, being able to be free like any other person.